So that's why we say everything is love, because everything is love. We say it because it's true. It's just a sentence. The sentence isn't true. But what we're pointing at has a validity, has a truth to it that can be discovered. So when I say love yourself, what am I asking you to do, if anything? I don't even know. Let me think about that. So free from conditions, free from too much head, sinking into the heart. But then still, like, I love your answer, but what am I really asking you to do? When I say love yourself, what is that? How do you do that? That's a beautiful description, that's a beautiful symbol. Less head, more heart, less logic, more causelessness. But what am I asking you to do? How to love yourself? And then the question arises, how do I allow what is? So beautiful, that's getting very, very close. But then still, what am I asking you to actually do? How do you allow what is? What's actually happening when you experience what you call allowance, going from stress or from self-sabotage or from self-judgment to self-love or to acceptance or to allowance? What's actually happening? What are you actually doing?
Letting go.
Letting go. But even that, what is that?
Moving beyond personal identity.
So those are all beautiful descriptions of how we describe what's happening, but what's actually happening? By what mechanism does the experience change from conflict to love? Total acceptance. So how do we accept? Just be? How do we just be?
For me, there's something in noticing.
There's a noticing. So that's coming very, very close. As close as you're gonna get, probably. So before, yeah? He's gonna try to beat you to it. Realizing that. So what's at the ground, what's at the basis, and your answer was very close, what's at the basis of all of these symbols? Because every one of you named one symbol that seems to work for you, or one description, one sort of poetic description of what seems to shift in your experience when you're going from conflict to love, or allowance, or love. There you go. So there's a shift in awareness. It's not so much a doing, there's a shift in awareness that then causes you to have a different experience with the beautiful poetry attached to it, or not. So pointers, what pointers do, they're not doing anything, you see? Like, you're not doing anything, that's what I mean. Like when I'm pointing to something, when I'm pointing to self-love, when I'm using one of those beautiful poetic sentences all of you just shared, what happens is we're just taking it for granted, which is good. I mean, we're taking the fact that awareness or attention has the ability to change according to where it's directed. So what these meetings are all about is, for me in this case being one of the facilitators, we're all facilitators here for ourselves as well, but taking me as an example, facilitating a group like this, what am I doing through words? What's actually happening? You're all sitting in your chair, you're hardly moving a muscle, you're not doing anything. Maybe you're thinking a little bit here and there, but you're not actively doing anything per se, you're just sitting here physically listening. So what's actually happening? Throughout the course of this hour and a half, you will have a wildly different palette of experiencing. Your experience changes constantly. It's like having a clean canvas in front of you and constantly painting over it new colors. Constantly. It's never the same. Every second your experience changes. Now part of that is influenced by the words I speak. Again, it's not in any of the words. See what happens behind the scenes for yourself. See what happens when the shift occurs. It's a shift in awareness that happens. It's a shift in attention. A shift in attention is what brings about any change in experience. It's not any doing per se, although the doing follows the change in experience to be a reflection of your present experience.